Hello and welcome to this very special presentation on Closer to Derby Trading Reality. My name is Steve Chappell, the Director of Trading Systems Development here at VectorVest, and I'm super excited again to come at you this week with some even better information on the upcoming competition and some of the groundbreaking stuff that's happening. First, I want to kick things off with some simple reminders. Our Jockey Club Portfolio Competition is still set to begin August 1st, 2017, and more competitions are coming, folks, so be on the lookout for those as well. We're still working through our specialized bootcamp training sessions. They're still underway and everyone is available to take advantage of the free training. So a simple reminder there is you simply have to go to vectorvest.com/bootcamp and all the recordings are being archived there very nicely for you. Let's take a quick look. So here we are at the webpage, and you can see that our Jockey Club competition webpage still houses very important videos right here at the top. You've got my introductory video, of course, and then some great other complementary videos on how to use the Genius and the DTI as part of your trading setups for the trading system. Some great little background information to help get you started. Also being archived each and every day are some great 30 to sometimes 40-minute recordings from our daily training sessions on designing and implementing trading systems. Here's a quick look at some of the trading systems I just put together yesterday. I did about a dozen and turned them loose. 8 out of the dozen made money, and some great results were found here. Up just over 1.25% yesterday, which we all know was a down day in the market. So this was accomplished by selling short through a Derby analysis mode. Here's just another one. This one turned out to be up 1.33% on the day. And finally 2.13%. This one was up a little over 3% near the 2 o'clock time frame before it took a little bit of a sell-off heading into the end of the session. But 2% in a day is some fantastic results, I tell you. This is another little interesting trading system that I started also on before the bell Thursday, and it utilizes just plain old today's Derby, and boy did it find a big winner. And the Derby can do that for you, folks, so I definitely wanted to point this out. This trading system's up 5.6 last time I gave it a look, and the big reason why is this little trade that we covered this morning. This is Friday on Cara Therapeutic, which is one of the big movers today. It's even continued a little bit lower from the open, but by rule of our stop, it got us out as soon as it could this morning. And you'll see or notice here in a sec that that was the big position that moved, I think, about 26% before we closed out of that particular trade. Here you can see a nice little example that it picked it up at 10:10 a.m. on 6/29 because we got a DTI signal indicating that the market had changed to a short situation at that time. And of course we took the top today's Derby strategy, and at that time, and in there was little old Cara Therapeutic as one of the complete trades at this stage, and you can see we caught it at a price point of $26. If we head over into VectorVest here really quick and to the portfolio section, this of course is the place where the competition will be held, and also some places, a place that you can make some great discoveries like the one we have for you today. Here again is a look at the equity curve all the way up to current time. You can see it's gained a little bit over 5% on the day due to that activity on Cara, up 5.66 overall. And we can see the Genius has moved into a neutral situation here according to the Derby timer. We do still hold 5 positions in here that still can accrue some profits for us as they're on the short side, but we'll see what happens there. But little old Cara Therapeutic, again, if we look at our automation over here in this portfolio, it was at 9:30 this morning that we covered that position. A quick check of the graph will show you exactly what happened here, and boy, we caught it at a great time. We caught it in the middle of the day off of this. Well, Jerry's been teaching a lot about candlesticks, hasn't he? Here's a nice little doji right indicating indecision right at a market top. We got into Cara on the follow through just as you'd want to if you were eyeballing this as a trade for yourself. And of course, fortunately, we captured a big catastrophic move downward in Cara, and we're out at the open, and you can see it's moved a lot lower from there as well. So boy, I tell you, there's nothing wrong with putting 26% into your pocket right out of the gate in the morning. So I bring all this to your attention, guys, because the Derby is a great place to find winners. I mean, you can find your explosive movers, you can find baskets of stocks that just continually to tick along and can accrue profits for you. And so we're super excited about some of the ground-breaking milestones that we're beginning to achieve in terms of designing trading systems customized to the Derby itself. And so it seemed to us that this is an appropriate time as we continue to gear up for the competition that lies ahead. I know we're heading into a big holiday weekend this weekend, and so many of you are going to be tied up in those type of activities, but we thought it'd be a good time to demonstrate a basic approach that one should take to setting up their own Derby trading system and get some good results behind you as we head into the competition so that you're ready for it. And also give you a good idea on how you'll be setting up the trading systems each morning. Doesn't take very long, just a few minutes to put one together, and I'm going to give you a great example of that now. So let's take a look. I'm going to head right back over to the Portfolios tab, and in here I'm going to click on New up here at the top. So as I click on New, I'm just going to call this Competition Portfolio, and we'll call it number 1, as we hope you do more than one test to get ready and get prepared. We'll remember that our initial investment for the competition is going to be $50,000. That's part of the rules that we put out. I know Dr. DeLito wrote about it in his essay a couple of weeks ago on the Friday, and also I did a special presentation 2 weeks ago at VectorVest University if you want a nice little recap of the rules. $50,000 is going to be the initial investment. We are going to do a per share commission schedule, just very closely to Interactive Broker's actual commission schedule. And it's great to only have to pay a penny a share to get into the trades. We're not going to be using margin or accounting for interest, so I can simply click on OK at the bottom. Next thing, that's step 1 essentially, is just get the portfolio squared away. Once the portfolio is there, to continue your testing, you're simply going to come up here to the top right, click on Edit. And here's where the brain power begins once you click on Build a custom trading system. So one of the things everybody should consider is, I want to get started off on the right foot. And what I mean by that is, when I unleash a trading system, I'm not 100% sure which direction the market's going to go. I might have established some likelihood, but you never know for sure. And so a great timing model to consider is none other than DTI Combo 1. Here again is a trading system that is going to interact throughout the trading session, looking for potential entries at any given moment throughout the trading day. And we've gone over the metrics here a few times at the university, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, other than to say it can pick out a bullish or a bearish campaign on any given day, and that should get you off to the right start in your trading systems. The next thing that I would simply mention is that for any market timing list, there'll be appropriate situations and situation cards over here. So you've got automation rules for up, down, and in this case neutral when none of the conditions are met on the timing list. Let's start with neutral, as that's the easiest one to work with. You don't tend to want to make a lot of changes here. In a neutral situation, you're not getting bullish or bearish timing situations from your timing list. And so the most appropriate course of action to still be vigilant is not to open any new positions, but manage the positions that still remain with their current stop criteria. If those stops are hit, the positions will be sold out of the trading system, and you will not replace it with anything new until you get back into an automation rules up or an automation rules down. So let's kick things off with automation rules up. Automation rules up, of course, is directly tied to a bullish signal on your timing list. So you're going to want to buy long to get started off on the right foot. And from there, we mandated that you must fill from Derby. So this is the one setting that absolutely must be selected. When we fill from Derby, one of the very simple approaches is just simply go with what's hot. So I'm going to go to today's Derby as my selection. It'll simply take the top Derby strategy on any given trading day, the strategy that's performing the best from the market open if I leave that from my entry price. So what 10 stock basket of the 170 plus Derby strategies, what 10 stocks are really hot and really moving? From there, it's as simple as putting on some stops. You come right to the stop criteria tab, and gain loss would certainly be a very simple approach. So if I get, say, a 6% gain or a 2% loss, I could take my poison or take the gain, and I've got a nice 3-to-1 ratio there. Now, certainly, this is where some of your decision process is going to come into play. And a lot of times, if you're dealing with stocks that are hot, you want to consider starting with a tight stop loss. In the next tab, we have more settings. And in here was simply controlling 5 positions. Again, that's the minimum that one can control throughout the competition, and really the minimum that most people should consider for any trading system that you're getting ready to put real money into. Automatically replacing positions, of course, is something that I feel for the most part ought to be left alone, and that is, you typically do want to replace. Once you cut your dead wood at a very tight stop loss, then it makes sense to want to get into some new blood, a new position that can really do like a Cara trade for you and give you a really nice gain. Hopefully hitting that 6, or in some cases with a gap overnight, an even better gain for your contest and for your real trading systems. But your trading systems ought to be developed with your objective in mind. Do you want to do a lot of trading in your trading system, or did you want to minimize that? If you want to minimize trading, you go with a little bit wider stop losses than we provided for you earlier. Or, do you want to do a lot of trading? So by and large, the settings that you choose ought to be a reflection of your outlook on how often you want to have to interact with your trading style. With that in mind, another interesting selection here is when entering the situation. Do you want to close all of your short stocks if you're entering into an up situation from a down? That does, again, create a lot more trades that the portfolio will gyrate through over the course of the competition. So if you want to slow things down, you can simply select don't close any open position. If you want to go ahead and flip on a situation change from a down mode to an up node, simply check close any open position that was opened in a different situation. It's really, do I want to go with the stop and reverse mentality, close the entire basket and then go long, or close the entire basket and then go short, or do I want to allow my stop losses to, by and large, manage the stocks once I'm in them? Don't close any open positions really accounts more for the stop losses that you've designated. For purposes of the competition, it makes a whole lot of sense just to invest at the average value of the portfolio. That keeps all your positions dollar weighted and really allows you to keep things even in all the different shares that you control. Odd lots, of course, allows you to better get to those equivalent dollar values, so you want to leave that in place. And another interesting selection, one to consider, is limit the repurchases to at least a day after the sale of a particular trade, because what if it's still found as one of your top Derby selections, even though it's had a little bit of pressure and hit your stop loss? You don't necessarily want to continue to re-enter an equity that's going against you. And that's really all there is to it, guys. I mean, when it comes down to it, you choose a timing list that you're going to feel comfortable with, that it's going to get you started out in the right general direction. With the versatility and the flexibility of the DTI combo, that's a great choice, because while you might be in a confirmed up, what happens if you have a soft day and the market retreats? DTI combo will account for that, and of course you might suffer a touch if you're going with something like the confirmed call. Just some food for thought. In the up mode, you typically, of course, want to buy stocks long. You have to fill from Derby. We took the simple approach of what's hot, today's Derby. Then you decide on the stop losses. Am I going to want to trade more frequently or less frequently? And if I'm trading something that's hot, do I want to give it a lot of room to fall? And of course, then you just set up the downside. Fill from Derby. Remember, it has to be fill from Derby. You can choose from any of the analysis modes that are available, but to go with what's hot, this would take the top bearish Derby strategy when a down automation rule occurs. And again, that's by way of performance from the market open, so it's a great way to get off the ground running. If I go to stop criteria, you can again choose from any of the ones available here, and maybe I want to be a little bit more protective on the short side. I can go with something like a profit locker and even match the percentages. We come into the more situations, and the only thing that I'm going to dictate here is, again, not to close anything out on a situation change, and don't re-short sale a stock that I've closed or bought to cover. I click finish and save, and away she goes. Now you can see control and now flip to a bearish situation right as we speak. So very timely indeed, and we should see here in just a moment or so the basket begin to fill out. You can see that streaming automation is now enabled. And now my basket is complete. You can see it's gone ahead and gone out and shorted from the top Derby strategy based upon the filtering that we had selected, which was the all filters. So if I quickly go over to the Derby, we should see stocks like TCCO, IMGN, SPNC, VOXX. And so quickly, a nice check of the Derby tab. We're going to focus on the bearish positions. We're on the all filter. We're in with ballistic new highs short, which is already up 3.55% for the day. Beautiful rising equity curve. Oh, and look, there's old Cara again. And if we take a look, here's your TCCO, IMGN, and the other stocks that are available in here. So we're off and running with some really good performers, certainly at the top of the list. We continue back over to the Portfolios tab. So that's really all there is to it, guys, and for purposes of the competition, that's all you'll need to do. And then this portfolio, this trading system, will continue to run throughout the term of the competition. In future competitions, we may allow for more intervention and more interaction, maybe on a weekly basis, something like that. But for purposes of the first competition, it's just set one up, let her fly. And so that's what you can do in your testing. Just queue a few of these up, see what tends to work, and let it fly in the competition. Also, just a quick update on my portfolio. That's going to be the rabbit for the race, sort of the portfolio to beat. It's still up 16% on a current basis from March the 8th, so still hanging in there very well through this volatile, turbulent market that we found ourselves in the past couple of weeks. So with that in mind, guys, I want to wrap things up for this week and simply say this. To get set up for the competition, if you haven't gotten set up for the competition already, what you need to do is just quickly take yourself out a Derby trial. Just simply go to www.vectorvest.com/try-derby, fill out the sheet, and away you'll go. You'll be invited to the Jockey Club experience, get to see Jerry and I work with these portfolios day in and day out. We're building a brand new one every single morning and monitoring them throughout the trading session, and it's been a great learning experience for everyone. Also in the boot camp training sessions, that's going to be available for everyone, but you can stick on through into the boot camp training sessions and get even more trading, or training rather, on trading system design. And just remember this training is more valuable than one might think, because as the competitions get bigger, and we know they will, so will the payouts. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend. I know it doesn't come till next Tuesday, but still feels like we're heading into that holiday mode. I hope you truly have some great times with your friends and family, and we'll see you right back here next week at VectorVest University with your next special presentation. Have a great weekend, folks.